I'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Hannah Jonathan from Coeur, jury chair. Got Lucy Clements here from Lucy Clements Architects, Lloyd McCarthy from ATA, and Joshua Christian from Kirby Architects. So, nice to meet you. We're right on, so feel free to kick off.
Okay, good morning. My name's Neil Delacour from Delacour Architects. My timer. What we have for you is 151 Toorak Road. It's on Wurundjeri, Wurundjeri country, and it's a site that's located on the corner of Toorak Road and Darling Street in South Yarra, diagonally opposite the former post office and just down from the South Yarra station. It's a 440 square metre site with a 14 metre frontage to Toorak Road. We wanted to reference the former post office in our design, and the former post office was done by McDonald in 1892. And the statement of significance reads, and I quote, amongst other things, Australian decorative motifs in an asymmetrical picturesque composition to evolve an Australian style in architecture. Some thoughts on that. What you see before you is a combination of colonial relics trying to find an Australian style. We explored techniques to pay homage to and pick apart colonial buildings. By pulling the building elements apart and using bricks without mortar as a decolonising idea. I don't want to dwell on that, I think there's a PhD and all of that, but that was something that we started to play with. And we're trying to do something about place as well. So some of the key moves were really to reinterpret the entry signal, reinterpret decorative motifs and reinterpret brickwork. In terms of the brickwork, we really looked toward the Hospital Santa Cruz in Barcelona by Pitch Architects. It's using this material, this flex brick screen. It's once a screen, it's bricks without mortar, and it's a sort of a brick curtain wall, which is kind of interesting in its own right, we thought. The decorative motifs are a little bit more tricky to work with, so what we've really landed on with those is more of an abstract idea of the condition of filtered light, which is something that we wanted to start to capture, because most of our facade is west facing. With the idea of being in nature, being in shade, to be about place. The generators of the design were, this is the subject site here in Toorak Road. The generators of the design were really looking at the fenestration in the street, building living in the street, both on Toorak Road and Darling Street. That led us to streetscape rhythm, both on Darling Street on the left-hand side and Toorak Road on the right, and a fenestration rhythm to deal with the building. The materiality really fell into two categories, the street wall on the left-hand side responding to the post office, and the top, which is more of a slate material, slate look, responding to the next door neighbour that's called the William Batters building. And it's, you'll see it in further shots, so it's really responding to that. We went through a lot of design studies in terms of how to break up the panelling and so on and so forth, responding to patina, to western sun, to daylight, to streetscape scale, to thermal comfort and so on, to arrive at that look in the building. One of the other generators was this sense of interstitial space that was provided by the post office. We looked at doing our interstitial space, public space, as a footpath widening, and you know the trope, it's the Parisian cafe, it's got canopies and so forth there. So we've pushed the ground floor of the building back as far as we possibly could to widen the footpath, because what used to be quite a gnarly little corner, provide some street trees, and so you get the sense of being under a canopy of trees and under a physical canopy. Some of the context. This is Toorak Road now. It's lost its prestige. It's a mess of wires and empty shops. It lacks unity. What we looked to do here was to re-establish the street wall, and the street wall responding to the post office, which you can't unfortunately see on this shot, it's just over the other side, and then responding to the hinterland beyond with the darker colours. There's a bit of science behind that. On the right-hand side is the South Yarra station, and we really use the ridge line of the South Yarra station as a cue, and the Williams Batters, chimneys and so forth, as a cue to getting our setback at 4 metres. We also wanted to make sure the building worked in the round, taking our cues from the post office on the left, and you can see the result of ours on the right. In terms of program resolution, the plan on the right really shows the Toorak Road level, and the conventional wisdom is to bring all your entries off the Toorak Road. We were able to activate the Darling Street frontage because there was a slight difference in the floor to floor. Darling Street slopes down as you go to the north, so we pushed that gap, the floor to floor, high enough to get a foyer in there. That would have otherwise been booster pumps, fire booster pumps and all that sort of business. So we're quite happy about that. So just in terms of that entry sequence, you can see here the entry signal reinterpreted, asymmetry and active frontage that would have otherwise been fire booster cupboards. The continued materiality of the exterior runs through into a modest and cosy foyer, and then it runs into a transition space that leads you to a through and through lift. And it contrasts with the restaurant, the token restaurant. I'm going to take you through the rest of the floors just for good measure, showing you the screen and balcony. You can see that interstitial space between the green colour and the edge of the site. Level 2 and level 3. Level 4 where the setback comes in. Level 5. Level 6 and 7, which is the rooftop terrace, which was really designed to be a flexible space, and now it's been given over to the restaurant. Token restaurant's going to be a rooftop bar. Some of the challenges we found on the site was when it got opened up, the ground conditions of the existing buildings, footings and all that sort of stuff were a mess, and Toorak Road was in danger of collapse. Our original setback was on the blue line.
2 minutes to go, by the way.
All right, no worries. I'll just... Anyway, worked hard with people to get it all back together. The setback that you see now is not quite the setback that we originally designed. That's what we're looking at. Flexible shell to 3.3 floor to floor. We really did the flexible shell like this to minimise waste. How do I go down?
Using the ones here.
Which one?
Just click
Or
on
is it
those,
at the bottom
yeah.
of the keyboard?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Right, thanks. We prioritise westerly protection, iconic views and the connection to the street that you get under 6 storeys, durability of... Sorry.
Try using it. That's right. Just use this one, and it's just next one, which is like
That one?
yeah.
Oh. I can whip through the next thing very easily.
Use the mouse instead.
Oh,
Right.
just use the ones.
Oh, it is now. That's strange. So the corner orientation allows us to do adaptive reuse. This is one of the floor plates where it's turned into an apartment. We're designing apartments at the same time we were designing office space. The client wanted to be flexible until they knew where the market was sitting. And here's one of the floor plates as well. You can see where it could be turned into 4 separate apartments, and there's a number of ranges in between. The system is 100% carbon neutral. The Flex Bricks is 100% carbon neutral, fully recyclable. It's a cradle-to-cradle system. The client wanted adaptive reuse and a flexible rooftop space, which we worked hard to give them. The building is a long-life loose fit. It accommodates residential, commercial, retail and other uses. Floor plates are not too deep. There's durable and sustainable materials. So it's a sort of a container. As a concept, the contextual expression is a shell type like a warehouse, and a facade that doesn't dictate use. Thank you.